Now, our final guest today is for all you lady golfers out there to tell us about her new book, Little Pink Golf Book. Welcome to the show, Miss Abby Gittings.
Hi, thank you very much for having me on.
You're very welcome. The actual full title, I think, is brilliant. Little Pink Golf Book, Rule 1, Never Listen to Men. Is that generally how it is on the golf course? Do men try and tell women how to play?
Yeah, I've been in golf since I was 5, so 25 years plus now. But it's kind of been a recurring theme, and as I've noticed more becoming a coach, and it's one of those things that I just thought was quite funny because it's kind of true, but also I just thought it was a good little title.
It is. I mean, I'm sure golfing men try and teach golfing men, and women do the same, but it's just a typical thing because it used to be mainly male golfers, didn't it, till recently?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's always been quite a very male-dominated sport. The lockdown actually helped quite a lot throughout Europe, increasing women's participation, which is great. But still, there's quite a long way to go, which is one of my big passions, to try and get as many women and girls into the game as possible.
So what about if any of our listeners were thinking about starting golf? Does the book give any advice on that?
Yeah, so the book basically is kind of like almost a beginner's guide, but for those who are already playing, they can use it as well. But it kind of goes from the very beginning of learning and all the different kind of things you need at the start, to taking you all the way to get into the actual golf course and playing competitions as well. So it's kind of for every single golfer, a little bit in the book for each person.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know a great deal about golf, but I have friends that are good golfers, and my hubby plays golf. So I know a few of the golf terms, the terminology. Do you list them in the book as well?
Yeah, so there's a chapter on all the golf terms. There's a chapter on golf lesson chat as well. One of the things that I really try hard with, especially in my lessons, is even for myself, sometimes the golf kind of chat in lessons can be very, I always say, I put it as like quantum physics. Sometimes it can really be like mind-blowing. So I've tried to explain all of those kind of aspects as well to make it a little bit more I'd say less intimidating for people if they want to have lessons or if they want to, learn about the golf game.
Yeah. And of course, there is a real golf etiquette, isn't there? You have to follow the rules. Is that explained?
Yeah, that's explained as well. So there's a chapter also from going from the driving range to the golf course that kind of lists all of the different etiquette, the rules, all of those things that I think give people a bit of a fear about actually going to play golf. I've tried to put as much as I can in there that kind of just puts everyone's mind at rest, and they kind of have all the information they need in there to be able to go and feel a bit more confident to go and play themselves.
Yeah. I remember when I first met my hubby, which is quite a long time ago now, and he was telling me about a golf course near him in England that would allow the men to take their dogs, but no women were allowed.
That sounds about right.
It's true. I'm hoping and I'm thinking it probably has changed since. This is like 20 years ago, but yeah, it's true. It's terrible. And
there was a lady who once said that the guy should say that golf stood for golf only, ladies forbidden, and we always say in my ladies class that we've changed it to like girls only, lads forbidden.
Oh, that's good.
The new term of it.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one a lot. I believe as well you also include information on golf nutrition and psychology.
Yeah, so throughout the years, I've kind of been through every different aspect of golf, from being a beginner to going through as a junior to playing professionally myself. I did college in America, so I just kind of wanted to put things in there that I have learned through my own journey that I've always found have helped me, and things like golf nutrition and the psychology, especially the psychology, I think is one of the biggest parts of playing sport that a lot of people tend to miss out. Obviously, you need to have like the technique and things like that, but especially with actually going and playing on the course, the psychological side is so big. If you're comfortable in your head, then you can go and play golf whenever you want, kind of thing.
And are men not allowed to read the book? Because I've heard there is a manuscript.
Yes, so there's a manuscript at the end of the book, which, like I said, it is not all men that annoy. My dad sometimes he used to annoy. He kind of had a little bit of help with me doing this as well. And the manuscript is basically a little bit of a cutout at the end of the book, which is for, I say, the men in anyone's lives, dads, brothers, boyfriends, just of kind of how they can support a woman in golf, the things to say, how you can support them when they're on the course and things like that, just to kind of help. I think the biggest thing is a lot of women tend to get into golf and then almost kind of don't get to the point where they go and play and they kind of back out of the game. And that's one of the most important things. I want to try and get more people retained in the game. And that's why the manuscript, I thought, would be a great way to get the guys to really encourage the ladies to play as well.
Yeah, great idea. Great idea. And is it purely a guidebook, or do you share some stories that you've learnt for over the years?
Yeah, so it's kind of a mix of both. It's kind of a few facts, there's a few stories in there. We have a few different stories from different ladies that I have spoken with as well. Just funny stories, stories of success, stories of complete failure, just to give kind of a background of, you know, the different areas of golf. There's going to be good days, bad days, and that everyone has them. So it's okay to, you know, feel bad one day and then the next day golf can be the best thing in the world. But I want to give a little bit of an insight to loads of different levels of golfer and, you know, the stories that they've had as well.
Yeah, I must admit I nearly got divorced by trying to, my husband tried to teach me on the driving range, and it's nearly as bad as him trying to teach me to drive years ago. I couldn't even hit the ball, I'll be honest, Abby.
Golf is a very tough game to get in, and it's one of those things where I see, it's not even that it's a bad thing. It's, like I said, with my dad, we used to clash heads all the time. And even if he was telling me the right thing, it's just sometimes that relationship doesn't just work.
Yeah.
But I see it all the time on the range, and I just see women get really frustrated, and I want to just jump in and help. And that was why the book came in.
Yeah, it's a great idea. And apart from the book, if any of our listeners are thinking, well, I'd quite like to speak to her as a coach, as a golf coach, which end of the coast are you? Do you travel around?
So I am based in Marbella, mostly out of the golf course there. Hopefully I'm looking to either get towards the end of this year or next year start putting on a few different events where I'm going to go around to different places and put on maybe a few days courses and things like that. I really want to now focus on really driving the women's game as much as I possibly can and trying to help everyone enjoy it more.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, we're selling your book on our website, TRE Radio. It's called Little Pink Golf Book, Rule Number 1, Never Listen to Men. And it's by Miss Abby Gittings, who we're speaking to now. If people do want to get in touch with you, Abby, how should they do that?
Yeah, so I have my own website, it's abbygittingsgolfcoaching.com, and I'm on all social medias, just under Abby Gittings Golf. So any way, shape or form, there's a way to find me on there somewhere.
Oh, wonderful. Well, it's been a delight to chat to you. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on. Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.